Today has been a pretty crazy day for crypto. And when I say that, I'm obviously talking about the crypto news, and that's because we've seen a major sign in the charts that everybody needs to know about. We have a new altcoin that is launching that I'm going to be buying into, so I have to share that with you guys. There's a new warning in and around the crypto space that you need to be made aware of so you don't get your money stolen from you. And there's also some very peculiar but very good news with one of the biggest companies in the world, YouTube and potentially Google, opening up in a very positive light towards crypto, or at least potentially. Anyway, those are the topics for today's crypto news update. And if that's something you guys are interested in or you think is nice, make sure you press that like button after you watch the video. So the most important thing in the charts that you need to be made aware of, again, there are two major things, is that right now Bitcoin is facing a major hurdle at the 200 weekly moving average at roughly $25,000. We've actually hit that price point twice already, and you can actually see, looking at the charts right now as well, that indeed the moment that we broke above it, we slammed right back down with a pretty significant hit. Bitcoin here dropped 7.5% in like 12 hours after it before recovering, again, just above the 200 weekly moving average before then slamming down again a couple percent down below. For some reason, I can't perfectly do it. There we go. Roughly 4% or so down. And right now we are climbing our way up piece by piece. And it's just a matter of time before we see another crazy breakout, which most of us are expecting is going to be towards the upside. And even though some major whales have called out for everybody to right now take a little bit of profit, and like I said, one of my major trade targets was this 200 weekly moving average. Right now, based on the fact that we're creeping up, having a similar resistance, but throughout this little journey here, higher tops, which again is only going to be confirmed in a couple of hours from now, but it showcases some very bullish signs and I'm very excited, which is why we're getting a lot heavier into alts, like I was already explaining. But I also try to partially back it up by the idea that most major sources and most of the guys I've spoken with say that a major recession is still possible, certainly. But it doesn't really look as if the S&P on the short term is going for another major crash. Anyway, this was the most trending piece on TradingView today. When price moves below this red line, which is the 200 weekly moving average, you need the 3-week RSI to completely flush below 30 to confirm a bottom. This was the case in 21 dot-com bubble and the 2008 crisis. You can see it being highlighted. This was a fake out as price had positioned itself under the 50 weekly moving average is more downside. And again, they're backing it up because it happens in a similar fashion every single time. They write it here down below. You guys can't see it perfectly, but breakthrough confirmed. 3-week RSI gaining strength since May 31st of 2022, and golden cross on the RSI is bullish. Now he confirms it with a MACD flip and the RSI going over from oversold territory back above the average there as well. And he's basically putting those dots together. You can see the green lining up with green, yellow lining up with yellow, being the obviously opposite crosses. And so even though the RSI did not hit as low as these two previous times, indeed it is right now still below this SMA, forming a similar pattern as the past. And he says, if the 3-week RSI has confirmed a golden cross, price is holding above the 50 weekly moving average, and the 3-week MACD is about to confirm its golden cross, this rally might continue. And again, if this were to be the case, right now, cryptocurrencies and the S&P have quite a nice correlation. This could mean some very good things for the crypto market. Also looking at the numbers, even though a lot of money has been taken out of the crypto space recently here because of major liquidations, obviously, that's usually what you get when you move such a huge amount in a small time span. From a fundamental perspective, the crypto space is only getting better as time has progressed. And what I mean with that is even though in terms of exchange balances, so the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges actually going down drastically, and the correlation between this and the price is not as accurate as I'd like it to be, because in a lot of these bullish periods, the Bitcoin on exchanges actually went up, even though logically you'd think that the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges has to go down for the price to go up, because that means there's less selling pressure. It has multiple different factors, obviously. Anyway, while that is happening, the number of addresses with non-zero balances, or basically the amount of addresses holding some Bitcoin, are drastically increasing, which is quite peculiar, right? If you think about it, more and more addresses are out there holding Bitcoin. It just keeps getting bigger, which again are not exchange wallets for most part because, well, the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges keeps decreasing. So it really just showcases either people are spreading their own Bitcoin that they have onto many different addresses, or there's just really a lot of new players entering the space and a lot of people taking their money off of these exchanges, which from any perspective is a good thing. Having said that, I told you guys that whenever I'm buying into projects, I'm going to share it with you guys on this channel. And tomorrow, officially actually 2 days ago, and it's actually in 2 days from now. Anyway, right now is a project over on the BitGet Launchpad, which I've never used before, but I'm just a really big fan of exchange launchpads. I joined every single sale on there, and last year we made a ton of money this way. But so in a couple of days, this Panda Farm BBO project is going to be launching. And again, I'll leave a link to BitGet. It's a crypto exchange down below. And what's happening is there's a sale of a token which is not on the market just quite yet. Panda Farm is the first fully on-chain GameFi project running on Arbitrum. I've never spoken to the Panda Farm people ever before, so I cannot tell you exactly if this project is the best of the best for longevity. All I know is that my principle is that over on Bybit, over on BitGet, whenever there are these launchpad sales and you get to buy these projects early, it's one of the easiest ways to do so and to make a crazy return on our money. It's always worth trying, in my opinion. And how it works is you get yourself an account. I'll leave a link to BitGet down below. Obviously, you have to go through some KYC because buying into these sales, there's always a little extra step necessary, as some countries are not allowed to do that. Like, for example, the US, I believe. They need to have a certain set of BGB, which is basically their token. The same thing applies for every single exchange. You just need to have their token because by you holding that, they're giving you like a piece of the allocation. And the thing you need to have in order to get it is part of their token. So that's BGB, which is BitGet's token. So again, I'm not logged in right now, but it's very simple. You just head over to the Launchpad, which you can see right there on the top. You just head to the Launchpad after you've made an account with the link down below. And then just read into it for a little second, check it out, do your own research. But just know that I'm going to be buying into it. I hope it's going to do well. The more BGB you have, and again, there's going to be some whales making a little bit more money off of this one. This is not a game for people with $7 to their name. It's the truth, but it's just another early opportunity. And it's pretty interesting. GameFi project running on Arbitrum. Arbitrum keeps getting more and more popular. A lot of the projects which are getting onto my radar are now built on Arbitrum. So that's also something quite peculiar. And again, it's going to be a little bit of a guessing game as to what the price is going to do because I've not witnessed a launchpad sale on BitGet before. All I can say is we'll see, but I'm participating. Let's get into the warning. So there's a major warning that was released about 10 hours ago. Crypto investors under attack by new malware reveals the Cisco Talos. Since December of 2022, apparently 2 malicious files, Mortal Kombat ransomware and Laplace Clipper malware, have been actively scouting the internet and stealing crypto from unwary investors. And the reason I always place such emphasis on this is because even people in my own circle that are pretty crypto savvy actually sometimes do end up getting hacked and losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. And even though to some degree I think it's a good lesson for them, I don't want it happening to you. And so apparently here, an anti-malware software, Malwarebytes, highlighted these 2 new malicious computer programs propagated by unknown sources, actively targeting crypto investors in a desktop environment. And you can see here where the infections lie mostly, which as far as I can tell is UK and North America, especially the United States. Well, only the United States. And there's a couple other small regions as well that are getting some interest, those places being Turkey and the Philippines. Now, the malicious software work in partnerships to swoop information stored in the user's clipboard, which is usually a string of letters and numbers copied by the user. It's just the Control-C, right? So if you copy something, and I've explained this before in depth, but anything you copy can be stored for a little bit and read by parties. Now, again, read a little bit more through this for yourself if you're really interested in all the details about it, but let me just give you guys the most important pieces. One of these malicious softwares, it just kind of looks and waits for you to copy a certain specific address, and then it replaces that paste basically with a different address, so you're just sending money to the wrong address. Then the Mortal Kombat one, it basically gets onto your computer, and it leaves a little note for you that says, "We've encrypted all your files, pay us if you want to get them back." And again, it says right here, this tag team campaign starts with a crypto-themed email containing a malicious attachment. The attachment runs a bat file that helps download and execute the ransomware when opened. And the most important tip I can give you right here, which is a really good one, is Goose one, is to never open any files in an email. Just never. You might say, oh, but for work this, for work that. Then make sure the email that you're using for this work has nothing remotely close to do with anything crypto related. And really make a big distinction here. Because I'm thinking there must be people who have to open files and emails, certainly. But even with my editors and anything that I can think of here, there's never an instance where I open a file in an email. I would never open an email that I didn't expect to get. If you're understanding my drift, just be very careful with these emails so you don't get phished, so you don't download the wrong thing, so you don't get yourself in a circle that you don't want to be in. And to make sure that this video is not all the way negative, because obviously the chance of this happening is pretty small, but it's something you need to be made aware of. Let's talk about something on a very positive light, which is some crazy news that I didn't expect, to be honest with you. I didn't see this happening at all. But we talked before about how the YouTube CEO took off, right? And you guys know that YouTube stance towards crypto has been kind of strange. But there was a guy, the guy recently wanted to get YouTube into this Web3 space. I don't have the article open, but just trust me when I say that they try to open up a little bit more to NFTs and into Web3. Now, the chief product officer now took over as CEO, chief executive officer. And obviously, Web3 and everything in the NFT nature is specifically something that the chief product officer makes choices over. And so it is almost certain that we can expect that this individual guy here, the new CEO, was actively involved in that discussion. Anyway, last year, almost exactly a year ago, he said, Web3 also opens up new opportunities for creators. We believe new technologies like blockchain and NFTs can allow creators to build deeper relationships with their fans, and together they'll be able to collaborate on new projects and make money in ways not previously possible. And the point there being, this man who was so progressive to accept all that is now coming to the CEO position. And so I'm thinking, well, that could be a very interesting future for NFTs and crypto on YouTube, which might, again, if it works out properly, might translate quickly over to Google, but you understand how this little circle goes. This is just a very nice little hint of things that might be yet to come. I've actually seen the majority of the internet being quite negative about it because people don't like NFTs. But for us in the crypto space, this is like a gold mine of sorts. Or yeah, just a really positive piece of news, and I enjoyed reading it. And last but not least, there was actually one very interesting piece. Cardano and XRP massively overvalued. Pundit torches completely, utterly useless ADA XRP markets. I want you guys to quickly think of this little quote right here. The problem is that people are being hated when they are real and being loved when they are fake. And I kind of extrapolated to this. In the crypto space, a lot of this hatred really goes towards the more fundamental, less hyped up projects, or you might say XRP is pretty hyped up. In a certain sense, I'd like to say projects that have not really announced some crazy stuff in a little while, and they're not based on memes too much, or just the 7-year-olds, no, I should say 15-year-olds getting some sort of crazy, exciting pumps ongoing and whatnot, because XRP has not pumped in a while, and Cardano is a slower approach cryptocurrency. That does not mean that they're useless or bad. They have their own curve, right? I mean, Cardano and XRP in my portfolio take up a very big share. I think both of them are going to do amazing. And it's interesting to me to see all that hatred towards these cryptos like almost every single day. I don't think there goes a day by where I don't have guys in my comment section shouting at XRP and calling me an idiot for actually putting any single dime into it. And all I have to say about it is, why hate stuff with such passion? Why do you care about it? That's one thing I never understand. But more importantly, have you really looked into it? Have you really actually taken a serious eye and was like, let me investigate? Or are you just saying this because you're following the masses and just following the same sort of negativity because the price is not, oh, pumpy. Because I honestly think that's the majority of the criticism, that the XRP prices just stayed low for a while, and that's why they do not like it. I think it kind of brings me back to this article right here. Rich Dad, or Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki responds to billionaire Charlie Munger's call for Bitcoin ban, and the accommodating video I had from CNBC.
I don't think the first page of the Bitcoin Standard or whatever book you want to go to, I don't think he's read the first page. And I mean, that's the most pedestrian viewpoint that I've heard from people for 20 years. They all say the same thing. None of them know anything about it.
Again, I don't think Charlie Munger knows nothing about crypto. I think he has an agenda. And I think the same thing applies for a lot of these guys saying negative things about XRP, about ADA. They either have an agenda for trying to pump their own bag, which is in somewhere else, or potentially Charlie Munger. They're just ignorant about the situation, and for that reason, they hate it. So just they hate what they don't understand. And the likelihood of that is pretty high. So yeah, just wanted to make that clear at the end right here. And also a little fun fact, I've had my first Elon Musk reply ever. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was a little dialogue regarding some Twitter stuff, but hey, just wanted to mention that. I was, pretty cooled out by this. I was like, hey, wait a second. That was it. See you guys later in another episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you press the like button. See you guys later. And yeah, some links will be down below. Check those out, like BitGet if you also want to join. And that's it.